Hey everybody! I'm here today to show you how to replace a deadbolt lock. In this video, I'll be going over these simple instructions and a simple tutorial for easily replacing a deadbolt lock. Any homeowner can do this. Anybody can do this. If you want to replace a deadbolt lock, this is the video for you. Let's get right into the video. Essentially, a deadbolt lock has three different parts. You have the inside over here, which has the latch. You have the outside over here, which has the keyhole port. And then you have the middle portion, okay? I was going to call this the inside, but really it's the middle portion, which has essentially the plate and the actual deadbolt and the mechanism inside, okay? Very simple. All that you need to replace it is a screwdriver just like this. Let's get right into the video. You're going to start off by looking at the inside, and you're going to notice that there are two screws where the latch is. Now, most of the time, you're going to have to adjust the latch like that to gain access to those two screws. What you want to do, get your screwdriver. Most of the time, it's going to be a Phillips head, and you're going to unscrew these. Now, I like to unscrew both of them just a little bit first, because that keeps everything nice and balanced. And then once you've sort of loosened both of them, so that the portions are not on an angle, you can quickly unscrew both of these, okay? Once you've loosened them both, you can unscrew them. Now, these bolts are quite long, and they essentially hold these two parts together. So when you unscrew this, you're going to be able to separate the inside and the outside of the deadbolt just like that. Check that out. You're already halfway done. Check that out. So what we've done here is we've actually removed the inside, which has the latch piece, and the outside, which has the keyhole port. I'm going to place those to the side, just like that. Now what you have is the middle portion, which has the actual deadbolt, and then the mechanism inside, which I'll show you in a moment, because I'm going to remove it right now. What you want to do is get that deadbolt inside like that. Now there are two screws right here, okay? And I'll give you a close-up in just a moment when I take them out. There are two screws here. You want to remove both of those screws, okay? Now, like I said with the other one, I like to loosen both of these first before I remove them, okay? Now that they're both loosened so that it can be removed on a straight angle like that, now you can just go and remove them. So I'm going to just go quickly right here. I'm loosening. I should have got my drill out for this. However, most of the time you're not going to be doing this with a drill. So I wanted to keep it realistic. Now the good thing about this tutorial is it gives you a very realistic timeline, because I'm not doing this super fast, I'm not cutting out any parts. This is literally what you see is what you get, okay? So now that that's out, you can actually pull this piece out. Now this is the center portion right here, the center. Now, as you can see right here, this has the actual deadbolt. It has a plate, and in some cases, the plate is going to be separated. This part right here will be separated. In this case, it's kind of on it, glued on it, okay? So that's the idea there. I don't know if it's glued on, but it's stuck on there. And then you're gonna have the mechanism over here. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can make it longer or shorter. So check this out. If I turn it, this channel right here allows it to get longer. So check this out. I can make it longer, as you can see, or shorter. Just like that. And that's going to depend on the actual hole over here close to your door. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the camera, I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's literally just an open hole in the door. This is, sorry about the poor lighting. I'm doing this at night and I have a bright light filming here, shining here. So this is essentially what it looks like right now. So what we're going to do now, there I am once again, hey. What we're going to do now is place the camera down one more time, making sure that it does not fall, because this camera has a tendency to turn off if it falls. Let's hope that that doesn't happen. What we're going to do now is we're going to replace it with the new deadbolt. Now, in most cases, you are going to actually put in the new deadbolt, but in some cases, like this one right here, because of this specific situation, I'm just going to reuse the old mechanism. I don't need to, this works perfectly fine. The screw holes are perfectly lined up. Nobody really sees the inside. I mean, but in a regular scenario, I would use the new one, the new mechanism, but this is a garage door. I'm going to reuse the old one because I don't care too much about this door. I just need a new deadbolt on the outside and inside. But you're going to put in your new mechanism, okay? So I'm going to take this, okay, once again, make sure it's the right length. If it's longer or shorter. Make sure it makes sense. And on your mechanism, it's also going to show that one side is up. I don't know if you can see that right there. That says up right there. So make sure that that's facing up. Take your mechanism, okay, put it on the inside, and what you're going to make sure when you see this is you're going to want to make sure that the little, I'll show you this right here, okay? That little portion right there, that little piece in the center, you're going to want to make sure that that's in the center of the hole for the deadbolt there. That's why you adjust the length. You want to make sure that's in the center, okay? Once again, being very careful with the camera, making sure it doesn't fall. That's also my hint. I think I should invest in a new camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to reinstall those 2 screws that hold the plate and the mechanism in place. Okay, so I'm going to take one of the screws over here. We're going to reinstall it. I like to put each screw in about 90%, like I said before, and then go the remainder 10%, the last little bit, when everything's nice and straight. Okay, so I put that one in about 80%, 90%. We're going to take the bottom screw right here. We're also going to put the bottom screw in, okay? Like I said, just mostly, not completely. Then we're going to make sure everything's nice and straight, and we're going to tighten up those screws nice and tightly. I'll tell you why you need them nice and tightly in a moment. So I'm going to make sure everything looks nice and straight. It's nice and snug up against those markings there. Okay? We're going to tighten up this screw. We'll call this 99%. Okay? Tightened it up 99%. Bottom one. Tightening it up, also 99%. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank that top one, crank the bottom one, and then one more time I'm going to really crank that top one one more time, and I'm going to really crank that bottom one more time. Now remember, I'm not ruining the heads of the screws here, okay? I'm not going that tight, but tight enough so that they're not going to scrape when they close. If your screw heads are sticking out, they're going to scrape. So you make sure they're tight enough that they're not going to scrape. Very simple and straightforward. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our new deadbolt, which is this one right here. Now also, random note, this is the same brand as the one that I took out. It's a different finish and it's a newer model. But essentially, that's why I was able to reuse the mechanism and the deadbolt inside. It's because it's the same brand. It might work out for you, it might not. And then we also need our new bolts right over here, okay? What you're going to do first and foremost is take your outside portion, and you want to put it in there. Now, if you'll notice on the outside portion, there's actually a shape right there. I don't know if this is very clear, but it's not like a perfect circle. It is a shape that only goes in one way, okay? So essentially, and it's the same thing on here. This is a better view of it. You can see the shape right there. I'll give it some good light. The shape only goes in one way. So essentially, what you want to do is you want to take that shape, line it up with the way that the shape is right there, okay? And I'm going to get out of the way in a moment and put that outside in, okay? So I've lined it up, the outside is in, and I see that shape right there. It's sticking out. Get this shape on the inside latch, line it up like that, make sure it goes in, there you go. Now what we need to do next is we need to gain access to those 2 screw holes on the inside. With the lock like this, I cannot gain access to those 2 screw holes. So what I need to do is take the lock, shift it slightly. Look at that! There are the 2 screw holes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bolts, I'm going to get them in place and finger tighten them just a little bit to the point where they're hooked on this outside piece. Then I'm going to tighten them up. So I'm going to take this side first, push it through the hole there, and you might have to adjust this, right, until it works. So right here, I feel like I've gained it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to finger tighten it, okay? Just a little bit like that, okay? Let's just get the screwdriver. You can finger tighten if you can, it depends. I'm in a weird situation. If I wasn't filming, I would be standing right here in between. But because I'm filming, it's a very weird situation. I'm going to get my hand out of the way there. I'm going to try and tighten this up with the screwdriver, see if I grabbed onto it. So now that I've tightened it, what I can do now, try and pull this off. Look at that. So look, I can't pull this off. I know that this bolt has grabbed through to the other side. Do the same thing with the other bolt. You don't want to tighten them up all the way because you want it to be nice and straight. You don't want it to go in on an angle. It's going to cause you problems. So now, once again, whoop, whoop, almost lost the screwdriver there. Once again, I'm going to use my body to push against the screwdriver, tighten this up a little bit, see if we can grab onto the other side. And I can see it's going in there, so I'm going to pull on this. Yeah, we're grabbed on. As you can see, we are grabbed on. At this point, what I can do now, take my screwdriver and just tighten it up we're just literally just going to tighten it up just like that. Tighten up both of these bolts. We're approaching the end of the process right here. Very simple and straightforward. Like, this is something, and look, I'm looking at the timer on my camera. We're talking about roughly a 10-minute process. Even if you've never done this before, maybe 15 minutes. Like, you can do it in real time as you watch this, because there are no edits, there are no cuts to this, there are no special effects. This is just me changing a deadbolt. Very simple and straightforward, okay? So I'm going to open this up a bit more. I know you're losing some vision on the camera here, but I want to speed this up. I mean, I don't want you to have to wait here for 15 minutes watching me just screw these two bolts in. So, and if you want to save time and you feel comfortable, go ahead and use a screwdriver. It's not a problem, okay? Now that both of those bolts are in, make sure everything's nice and tight, nice and snug, okay? Check this out. Make sure it works. Oh, beautiful, look. Woo! Beautiful, I love it, I love it. Fantastic. There's the keyhole on the outside. Get your key, make sure that it works properly, and that's it. Very simple. That is how to replace a deadbolt lock. It's easy, very simple and straightforward. I'm going to carefully grab the camera, show you what it looks like. Look at that. Ready? Look at. Beautiful. Very simple and straightforward. It's an easy process. As you can see, looks nice and clean on the outside. On the inside, these are the two screws, the two bolt holes that I was talking about over here, as you can see. Very simple and straightforward, okay? That is what it looks like on that side over here. Sorry about that, up here. Okay, there's the deadbolt that I was talking about right there, and the two screws with the plate. Just so everything's clear. Now, I wish I could have done a little bit of a better job with the filming of this with regards to the lighting and having a better angle, but I just can't. I'm sorry. In this video, I cannot. If you want to see me do a more in-depth video where I show every single angle and I sort of take more time to show you every single aspect of it, drop a comment below. And if I see enough people want it, I'll get it done. I promise you. Okay? And that's it. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.